Good everyone. I hope you guys have an amazing day. So yesterday's episode, if you remember, I spoke about the triggers and creating a platform and publish service, which I've done in my previous episode. But that's great, right? The code is built. Now, obviously, you might have a process in your company where once you build the code, you often send out for a code review. Now, in my case, right? I mean, I don't have another developer to do a code review. So, but at the same time, I do want my code to be checked. And so, what's the best way to go about it, right? I mean, obviously, like in old school, you can eyeball your code, and I can see there's nothing wrong with the code. But looking at it, I can see that it will be better that if I add some code comments, which is great. And then if I look at this code, which I can let me um, go back, open in another window. Okay, let me go here. In the setup, I can go to Apex classes, and then I go to P, something called platform maybe. Yeah, platform and service. I go here. I can look at the code and see, looks alright, but might need some tidy up, perhaps. So, what's the best way you can go about doing a code review? So, if you're not aware of it, using Chatgpt, you can do a code review. So, let's do a code review, right? Okay. Let's ask ChatGPT, can you do the code review? So, let's go to ChatGPT, go to OpenAI, try ChatGPT. Okay, can you let me ask first if you can do the code review? Can you do a code review? Can you do a code review for me? Okay, all right, please share your code. Let's review this code first, right? Uh, Please review this code. Okay. All right, let's see what he has to say. All right. Okay. Right. Okay. So that's a code review, right? So when you look at it, right, and if I copy paste this and send it to someone, obviously that person will think that that's my feedback, right? Or if you get this feedback from someone, you might think, oh, that's a feedback from another developer or senior developer or senior architect, right? But at the same time, but in this scenario, right, it's the feedback from a chat GPT, which is pretty great. And now, excuse me, um, now a few things like it talks about the bulkification. Obviously, it does bulkification, and I understand the naming convention that could be improved. And another thing I can think about, like adding a comment, that's another thing, right? So this is the one way. If for some reason, if you don't have an extra developer to have a look at the code, you can use ChatGPT. But that being said, right, I'm not 100% sure that whether it's a great way, whether it's the right thing to do, because obviously whatever data you put, right, it gets. I'm not sure if ChatGPT saves it somewhere as a part of training the ChatGPT AI. Um, excuse me. If it's not, that's great. But still, in my opinion, could be a security concern, or could because maybe you don't want to expose your code. I'm not sure. I mean, I can't really say how it's built behind the scene, but I mean, for all means, I mean, if your company has no issues, you can use it. But I would highly encourage you to first check with uh, your partner, company partner, or your senior architect or compliance officer, right? Whether if you can use ChatGPT to do a code review. Obviously, it does the job pretty well, right? As you can see. And but the only concern I have is the data, is your code security, right? Are you going to expose your code to the rest of the world using ChatGPT? What if the ChatGPT saves your data in its own database to train its model, right? It could be anything, right? I can't really say on behalf of ChatGPT how they've implemented their AI logic, but that being said, in my personal opinion, it looks great. So, okay, let's look at the other class, right? This is much bigger. Okay, code this one, please. Okay, let's see what it says. Right. So it gave me a pretty good advice, right? The case always, the case is shite in this case. I agree that. Um, so you can improve your case, and you can also rename your platform event from account underscore log to account log e, which is great. So yeah, you can do the tiny modification based on the feedback you receive from ChatGPT. As I can say that it does the job pretty well, right? So it gives you very good explanation what you can do, how things you can look to improve your code, and how to handle the error code. Like in this case, it didn't mention anything about the error code, error handling, because I've already taken care of it. So such kind of things really helps, and I think it's a great way you can improve your code quality. I mean, I do understand that some people might say, "Hey, ChatGPT is taking our job." It's not really taking anyone's job, to be honest. There will be always a need for excellent developers in the market. But yeah, if someone is average to below average, then I think either they have an opportunity to improve or they can go and find something else to do, because that's how it is, right? If you think about from a nature survival of fittest concept, only the strongest one survives. That's how the universal law, that's how the universal law is about. I mean, our planet is built based on that. Our solar system is built based on that. So I don't understand what makes people to assume that laws won't be applicable to living entities, which is a part of a universe, right? So ChatGPT is a great tool, right? It will do a lot of things. The way I look at it, ChatGPT, you can build easy prototyping, right? If you're a startup, if you want to build a quick and dirty prototype, you can ask ChatGPT, hey, give me this code, give me that code. You'll get a lot of code sample help with that, right? And ChatGPT will do that for you. Um, and Code reviews, right? One of the best way I think I can make use of ChatGPT is code review. It's like a personal assistant, right? You don't have to look for extra developer. I mean, ChatGPT does other stuff as well, right? For instance, I'll show you. Like today, I was struggling with the dinner idea, and I was thinking, okay, whether I should eat mac and cheese or whether I should be eating what's that called? Um, Pasta with pasta bolognese, or um, if I'm not interested in pasta, should I be making feta spinach pie? Mm, I was not 100% sure. Then finally, I asked, "Give me better dinner ideas, right? So it gave me one, so I stick to it. So you can use ChatGPT for a lot of things, right? You can even suggest ChatGPT to recommend you books. Say, I like to read books written in 1800s and 1900s, so I could manage to figure out the names using ChatGPT, and I can search in Amazon and I can buy those books, right? If you're interested into say brewing, like I brew my own beers, so if I wanted to know about different hops, I can actually use ChatGPT. It's really an amazing tool, right? It's just amazing. I mean, I can't think about any tools that can do better than ChatGPT at this stage. Google might have Google might be working on something else, but for now I'm pretty fine with this. All right, so that's pretty much I wanted to talk about in today's episode. So I hope you enjoyed it, and do tell me if you find ChatGPT useful for your code reviews. Like I said, before you put your code to ChatGPT, just go and talk to your compliance officer in your team, in your company, whether it's okay to do so. Right? Just don't blindly copy paste the code. And this is just a dummy code I built. It's my code, so I don't care. So I just put it out. Right? Okay. So that being said. I hope you guys have an amazing Tuesday. Adios.